On Hassan, we have a brand new facility called the Interlink facility, and it's really awesome. So far on test server, players have been giving us a lot of great feedback about it. They love the cool, tight corridor gameplay that's there. There's lots of little small rooms to have really intense infantry fights in. So that's definitely, I think, a highlight for Hassan that players are going to be really stoked on. Well, we have a lot of sunshine on our other continents, so we thought it would be a good idea to have one that was a little bit better humidity. And Hassan was a continent from the original PlanetSide, and it was one of players' favorite continents, so we definitely wanted to revisit that continent in PlanetSide 2. And of course, it was a swamp continent in PlanetSide 1, so we needed to make sure that we kept that alive in PlanetSide 2. Our biggest challenge with Hassan was actually getting as many trees in it as we have. There's a lot of objects that make up Hassan, and we wanted the foliage to be really dense and for it to feel really, really, really jungly. That many objects took our artists kind of a while to figure out how to make sure we could do all that and have it be, have the game run really well and also be fun. The more objects we have, the more trees or bushes, things like that, we have to be really careful about how many of those we put in because we need to make sure that the game still runs really, really fast. So doing all that was really a challenge, and I think the level designers and the environment artists have done an amazing job making sure that we get that dense jungle feel, but still have levels that play well and run well in the game. So performance is always a big focus for us on the team. There's lots of people who play the game and have a tough time running it on their hardware, and we know that it's definitely something that we want to improve and that we're always making efforts to improve. Right now, we're kind of doing a really concentrated effort to make sure that the entire team is focused on doing performance and getting the game to just run faster on as much hardware as we can get. So players, especially players that are using AMD multi-core CPUs, are going to see a lot of boost from it. And these things take time. It takes a lot of time to do things like make better multi-threading in the game, but it's very important, and we're focusing the entire team on the effort right now. So hopefully we'll start seeing some of that stuff very soon.
I think when you're pushing the envelope as much as PlanetSide is in terms of what the game is doing, I think everyone has to remember as well, you're playing with thousands of players, aircraft, tanks, everything on one continent. And yeah, I think it's amazing what you guys have achieved so far with this, and we look forward to any updates that we can have there with just to bring more players into the game to enjoy this.
Exactly. Yeah, that's our biggest goal, is we want everybody to be able to experience what this kind of massive scale FPS gameplay can be like. And like you said, I mean, there's not a lot of other games in the world where 1,000 players can be fighting against each other in one base. Yeah, exactly. A single finger, you can count the number of games where that happens. So yeah, I mean, while performance we know is an issue, we are absolutely pushing the envelope in a lot of ways, and we're doing things on the PC that no other game has ever tried to do. So we're learning a lot about ways to make it faster and make it better, and the programmers have a lot of really good ideas on ways to make the game run better for everybody. So the Bastion fleet carrier, it's definitely something we've talked a lot about, having outfits be able to basically build their own mothership essentially and configure it kind of like an outfit base that they can use. It's not something that we're working on actively right now, but it is a concept that we have for a future addition to the game for sure. Implants are going to be a pretty exciting gameplay addition to the game. Implants give players a small bonus for a limited period of time. Right now, we're revamping the implant design to make it based on gameplay a little bit more. So, for instance, when you're running around capturing a base or you destroy a vehicle, you'll have a chance to get an implant for completing that action. It'll just basically be a random chance to get one.
So like a loot drop, basically.
Yeah, like similar to a loot drop. It won't actually drop on the ground. You're not going to have to. It'll just show up. But we're also doing some things like allowing you to take implants that have dropped and use a combination system to be able to combine them together to get different types of implants, or even to have higher tier implants. So it should be really exciting and should add a lot of cool gameplay for players to be able to get implants while they're just playing the game, rather than just only having them available for certification points. We actually have plans for a big volcanic continent, so we're saving the volcano for Cirrus right now. But Amerish is going to get a similar treatment to what Esamir just went through and what Indar got a couple months ago. So what we did is we went through every single one of the outposts, every single one of the facilities, and we really changed the way the layout for all those outposts was. Amerish is going to be getting the same thing. Right now, all the level designers and environment artists are very focused on Hassan and getting Hassan finished. But immediately when they're finished with that, they're going to be moving over to Amerish and making sure that Amerish has as good of facilities and as good of gameplay through all their outposts as Esamir does right now. So the lattice system is something we just added to make sure that players are actually getting in larger scale fights. Some people don't like that they don't have the freedom to go anywhere and fight anywhere they want anymore. And what we're planning on doing as part of our resource revamp is adding more small scale objectives that are not tied to the lattice that players can go accomplish. So a smaller group of players is going to be able to go destroy somebody's resource nodes or destroy their harvesters to actually make a impact in the larger war effort without necessarily having to participate in a gigantic fight to do it. That should allow us to still have all the benefits of the lattice system. In other words, really large scale fights, the ability for defenders to actually hold a piece of territory and make sure that attackers can't get through it. That's really what the lattice system allows us to do. But it should give a lot more strategic options to our smaller group players and just people who want to maybe go do something before their outfit logs in and they don't want to have like the big scale fight. They want to just be doing some things behind lines. So we get the strategy, plus we get the benefits of the lattice system. And that's sort of our plan for that.
That's really cool. I mean, because as we see, a lot of outfits are breaking up their team into, we have fighter squadrons, we've got tank columns, we got everything there. So I can see in future that we have these little small cells set up inside larger outfits for these guys that want to just play in the small, maybe 6-man squad, something like this, and to capture these strategic points so that they have this this impact on the larger war, but they feel like they can actually contribute in a smaller squad. That's really cool.
Exactly. We get to have the little commando squads to go out and do
we need to have bandanas for this. We got to have those in there.
Nice. PlanetSide is a gigantic multiplayer war game. It allows thousands of players to fight against each other in enormous, never-ending battles.